Yeah.
I don't need these because I had them for
Friday, because I had extras out for the sub. Okay. So, there's two different formulas we need to understand and why they are the way they are. So, the surface area for a cylinder is 2 pi RH plus 2 pi R squared. So, why is it 2 pi RH? Well, if you think about the surface area formula for a prism, so this is it for a prism, we do the perimeter of the base times the height plus 2 times the base area. Pi R squared is the area of a circle. So our bases are circles here. So this is essentially the big B. Do you guys see that this is the big B in the prism area? Pi R squared is the area of a circle, right? So R stands for radius. That is the 2B here. So what is this? How do you find the perimeter or the circumference of a circle? Well, isn't that 2 pi R? Isn't this the circumference of a circle? Which is also known as the perimeter, is another name for circumference. Well, when we did the prisms, we find the perimeter of the base. Our base is a circle. So this is the base's perimeter. Do you see how these are basically the same formulas? We find the perimeter of a circle, which is our base, which is 2 pi R. We multiply it by the whole entire height of our shape, right? And we have the area of the base. Since there's 2 of them, we multiply it by 2. So is that formula that different from what we've been using? No, we're just dealing with circles now. Again, if we think of the volume of a prism, there's a huge relationship here. It's just base area times height. Well, our base is a circle. To find the area of a circle, we use pi R squared. Well, isn't that the base area, this BH here? Base area is pi R squared times the height. Aren't those essentially the same formulas, just showing you the circle formulas? So is what we're doing today that different from what you guys have been doing? It's huge difference is what you're saying? Oh my goodness. Logan, are you okay? Do you need me to go over something to help you out? You sure? Okay. Gabe. Okay, go ahead and flip when you are ready.
What is that word saying?
Where?
Under circumference.
/ perimeter. So I want you to see the relationship here, Casey, of the P in the surface area of a prism. So that's kind of why I'm saying these things, is so that you guys realize we're not really doing anything a huge difference. What?
Wait, are you trying to?
What am I supposed to do here?
You need to use the Pythagorean theorem to find the height, because you have like a slant.
Why? Are you saying you got the rectangle with inside?
Yeah, like if you think of this, you weren't here last week when I did this, but if you think of like a label that's on a can, anything, if you take the label off, what shape is that? It's connected with a rectangle. So 2 circles are connected with a rectangle, so that's why. So that's why I have this out, is so you guys can realize that's what that is.
Can I eat it?
What?
How old is the peanut butter?
It's not that old.
Can I eat it?
No.
I'll clean it out.
Okay, guys, let's get started. So our base perimeter, also known as the circumference, is what we are going to find first. So we find the circumference by doing 2 pi R. So our base perimeter is the 2 pi R part. What is my radius? The diameter is 10, so my radius is 5. So we do 2 times pi times 5, which is an exact of 10 pi. We're going to leave it exact until the end. The height that connects our 2 circular bases together. What is the height that connects those 2 bases together? What number? 7. So H is 7. And then we find the base area, which is pi r squared. We already said r is 5, so we get 25 pi. So we have all of the information we need to now substitute into that formula. So go ahead and get that written down. So that is 10 pi. Our height is 7. And we have 2 times pi r squared, which we decided was 25 pi. So I'm substituting that all in. So I get 70 pi plus 50 pi, which is 120 pi. And then you guys can tell me, you can now do 120 times pi in your calculator. So 376.99. And we're talking about surface area, so that is squared. No. Okay, so look at that and see what questions you have for me. What pieces you might have questions about. This is the exact, so that's why that's equal, and then that's about that. So that's why I have the like squigglies there, because we had to round it. Yeah.
If I rounded that on like homework or
Probably not, but you should not be doing that, Gabe. For you, not for me. All right, questions so far? So the next one then. Same things that we're doing. We know that the surface area for a cylinder, actually I'll put this down here, is 2 pi r times h plus 2 pi r squared. Again, you will be getting a formula sheet, so these are the types of things you're going to want to put on the formula sheet. So we'll start with the perimeter of the base, which is 2 pi r. What is my radius on this one? What is my radius?
4.
Radius is 4. So r equals 4. We don't have to half anything this time. So I'm going to do 2 times pi times 4, which is 8 pi. And then we need to find the height. What is my height of this one? What connects my two circular bases together? My circular bases are here and here, so 6 is definitely connecting those. Good job, Lindsay. So 6 is that. And then we find our base area. Our base area is pi r squared, and we already decided our radius was 4. So that's 16 pi. Do we have all the pieces we need now? Do we have all the pieces we need? So 2 pi r is 8 pi. Our h was 6, 1 second, plus 2 times pi r squared, which is 16 pi. What's up?
oh, never mind.
Are you sure?
Yeah. I thought you just
No. What? Yeah, because 4 squared is 16. So we get 48 pi plus 32 pi, which is 80 pi. And you guys can now put that into your calculator. $251.33. And it is surface area, so it is squared, feet squared.
No.
I mean, you're going to have to, you'll know it at some point because you're going to type it into your calculator, but no, if it says you can round, you don't have to. I just want you guys to understand the exact just in case it asks for that on the test. All right, what is the radius of this one here? What is the radius here? What is it? So half of 9.6 is 4.8? Okay. So our base's perimeter is the first thing we find, which is 2 pi r. So we do 2 times pi times 4.8, which is 9.6 pi. Okay, what is the height that's connecting our circular bases together? 3.4. So h is 3.4. And then we have to find the base area, which is pi r squared. What is 4.8 squared? Somebody tell me what 4.8 squared is. Is it 16.64? Or is that wrong? I don't really know. It is not even close. Okay, good. 23.04. Okay. So, if we're thinking of the surface area formula, we have 2 pi r h plus 2 pi r squared. That's this part here. Why? Because this piece here gets you the surface area of like the label on a can.
I'm confused. What's that? 80 pi?
80 pi is the exact.
So
And
do
then
we
that's
have to do
before,
that?
no, and that's what Casey asked before. So basically what you're finding is that first piece before the addition sign is like the label on the can. And then the, like if you were to remove both top and bottom on a can, those are the 2 pi r squared.
Okay.
So you're finding like all of that, like if you were to like paint it or something like that surface area. That's because there's not 100 different shapes you have to know the area of. It's one shape, you know the area for the base. It's always a circle. Whereas in like prisms, you need to know if it's a triangle or a square or a rectangle or a random 8-sided octagon or, you know what I mean, a trapezoid. There's just so much more to know in those ones because you have to know all of those areas too.
My brain, what chapter?
So 2 pi r is 9.6 pi times our height of 3.4 plus 2 times 23.04 pi. And we can just do the rounded area. What's my rounded area? If you type that into your calculator, what do you guys get? 247.31. And it's surface area, so it's meters squared. So this is technically not a prism, but it could be kind of similar to a type of prism, right? The prism, it's a prism, not really a prism, but a prism with a base of a circle. But since cylinders always have a circular base, you're not like deciphering through like, do I have a square? Do I have a triangle? Is this a hexagon? Is it an octagon? It's always going to be a circle, which makes this a lot easier. Does that make sense? Does,
That's the one thing that I like remember is the circles.
yeah.
Can you look at how I did it?
Are you getting the same answer?
Yeah.
That's fine.
Like, am I allowed to do it?
Yeah, definitely. You're doing the same thing, you're just not breaking it into pieces like I am, which is fine. I'm just trying to break it into pieces so you guys realize it's the same as a prism. Does that make sense? Okay, we decided that the volume is pi r squared h. And how does this compare to our volume of a prism? Well, it's essentially the same. Our base area is just always a circle. That's the only difference here. So that goes back to what like Casey was saying, like this is a lot maybe easier for some of you guys because you're not having to figure out, is my base a square? Is it a hexagon? Now is it a triangle? It's always going to be a circle, so you guys, that's why in this formula, instead of doing BH, we're doing pi r squared h because it's always a circle. So that's the B in the prism's volume. Okay, so base area is what we find first, which is pi r squared. What is half of 5.2? for our radius? 2 point what? Is that right? Did you do it in your head?
Yeah. It is.
Oh, good job. Okay, so we have pi times 2.6 squared. What is 2.6 squared? 6.77? 6.76, I mean?
Yeah.
So 6.76 pi is what we have for our base area. What is the height that connects the two bases, those two circular bases together? What? 7.8, that right angle there. So we get to just type that into our calculators, and you guys can get the rounded answer. So volume equals pi r squared h. Well, we said pi r squared is 6.76 pi, and we decided that h is 7.8. So go ahead and do 6.76 times pi times 7.8 in your calculator. And we're figuring out the volume, so it's how many cubes, how much water, how much sand fits inside of the cylinder, how much soup, yeah.
Why can't you do that right triangle so it's like under?
Because this isn't a right angle here, so it needs, heights need to be to right angles, so that's why it has to be drawn like that. So if it's not like a cylinder that's like, because you could have like a slanted cylinder, so it's slanted, so that's why they do that, so that the height is always to a right angle. Mm-hmm. What'd you get?
165.65.
Looks like that is what Olivia got too, so we're good. So that's yards cubed. Yeah, do you have a question?
Yeah.
What's wrong?
Wait.
Are you sure?
I was confused about the pi r squared. But I realized where you got that.
Are you sure? Okay. Anybody else have questions so far? Okay. What's up?
Why is this, so I did that, put that in my phone.
Yeah.
And it got 9.8 there instead of 8.6. And then when I put that, it's the height.
That's
So how's it
because
different?
you aren't using the exact. This is using all of the digits of pi, which are infinite, and this is just using some of them because you rounded it. So that's why they're different.
Yeah.
That's why I don't want you guys to round it until that, you know what I mean, until the very last step. Yeah. Because you guys will all get the same answer then. Okay, the volume is pi r squared h. So pi r squared is pi times 5 squared, which is 25 pi. And what is the height that connects those two together? 10. So we can put that into our calculators now. So that is volume equals 25 pi times 10. So whatever 250 pi is, what is that about? Yeah.
785.4.
Is it just 0.4? Is there not two decimals you can get to?
That's 0.398.
So it is 0.4, okay. And that would be feet cubed because we're filling it up, but we're looking for how many cubes can fit in there, water, anything like that. So that's why it is feet cubed. All right, last one we have for today. Tomorrow we'll talk about cones, which are very similar to our pyramids. And hopefully this maybe makes the prisms and pyramids make a little bit more sense to you guys, just realizing kind of what you're doing. It's just a little bit, it is harder because you have to know what those bases are, and that's a lot of formulas to remember. So you're going to want to get, that green sheet we did last time, all the different formulas.
Is it first Monday?
Yeah.
It is, because last week was like Tuesday, wasn't the first week of, yep. Okay.
Sounds like fire truck.
Okay, what is our radius on this one? What is the radius of this one? 4.5. So we have pi times 4.5 squared.
It's the first Monday of the month.
What is 4.5 squared? I don't know.
So do it. I feel like
Do 4.5. Is that 20.2? Is that 4.5 there? Is that what answer is? Okay. So 20.25?
No, wait. Yeah.
Did anybody get 20.25 pi?
Yes.
Okay.
Oh, I didn't know we were doing this stuff.
We need the height. Do we have the height of this one? No, that 15 is a slant, isn't it? What do you think we can use? We get to use our Pythagorean theorem. So we have 9 squared plus h squared equals 15 squared. Is it 12? So we have a height of 12. So remember how we had to use the Pythagorean theorem sometimes when we were doing the stuff last week with prisms and pyramids? Obviously, the Pythagorean theorem is something that you guys need to know for this next test. We've used it a lot. So we do volume equals 20.25 pi times 12, which is about what? Centimeters squared. What centimeters cubed? Did you get the same thing? You got something different.
Yeah, I got 763.
Yeah, I got the same thing on Wednesday.
Oh, I did. What?
Say that again.
763.41. I just write 9 instead of 12.
There you go. Okay, good. This is why I have more than one of you tell me the answer.